there, and welcome to the Gathering Places weekly yoga and meditation gathering online. My name is Amy Armistead. I am the pastor of the Gathering Place, and I am excited to lead you in yet another practice. So this past month, we have been focusing more on the meditation side of things, and we'll be starting up. We have 2 yoga instructors the next 2 weeks who will be leading us in 20-minute yoga practices. But today, we are going to do a spiritual practice called Examen Meditation. And before we get started, you might want to pause this video and grab a couple things. Grab a candle and a lighter or matches, and maybe, this is optional, a notebook and a pen if you find yourself to center your thoughts around writing and journaling. That's for some people, not for everyone, but now's the time to do it. So hit pause and gather those materials. Alrighty, let's get started. So to begin our time of examen prayer, we are going to want to light a candle. This will just kind of get the setting, the atmosphere around us into a more reverent, peaceful place. I think that spaces and places are really important when thinking about our spirituality. Simply lighting a candle, maybe getting some plants or some really good natural lighting, or going outside can really center yourself and bring you to a whole different level in your spiritual practice. Like if you're in your office or somewhere you might get distracted, it might be hard to participate in this. So I invite you to light this candle as a symbol of the divine's presence in our midst. For me, this is a way, the candle, the light, is a symbol of Christ for me. It is a symbol of God's presence right where I'm at. Now, I invite you to go somewhere that you are comfortable in a cozy seated position. Go outside. If you are in the Daytona Beach, Ormond Beach area, it's bike week, so you might have the buzzing of motorcycles all around you, but that's okay. Anywhere that you might feel comfortable. Now, this examen meditation is actually quite an ancient practice. Just like the Lectio Divina that we did last week, examen prayer is something that started with Ignatius of Loyola, who was a Catholic priest and theologian, most known for his spiritual practices, and he normalized this type of examen prayer. And it's a way to check in with yourself and to check in with God at the end of the day. Examen is usually done best kind of as you are winding things down, and you could do this before bed, you can do this after dinner, whenever you feel like you have hit the pause button and you're starting to wrap things up. So in the Methodist tradition, which is different from Ignatius of Loyola, we have this question which was asked by John Wesley, who kind of started the Methodist movement. And the question is, how is it with your soul? So this examen is a way to check in. It's a way to examinate our day, to kind of go through. It's a thought exercise. People use it as a prayer to check in, to see how is your soul, how is your spirit, how is your emotional life. And it kind of gets us attuned and pause. It is a chance to pause and reflect what's been going on through the day. So let's begin our time of reflection. First, I asked you to take a big, deep breath. Begin to notice your breath. Notice its rhythms. Take one long, luxurious breath in. Hold it. And exhale. Take a time to notice God's action and grace throughout the day. This first part of our noticing is called consolation. What are you most grateful for? Another way to rephrase this is, when during this day did you feel a sense of joy or love or connectedness? Take some time to write down the things the moments that you were filled with gratitude throughout the day. Maybe it was a really good breakfast or a perfect cup of coffee. Maybe you had a conversation where you felt more connected. And then write down, where did you feel connection? It could be connection with another person, connection with creation, maybe connection to God. What was a moment during the day where you felt seen or heard? Take some time to reflect over that moment, either by writing it down, speaking it aloud, or simply thinking about it. Now, where today did you sense God's presence? Where was God? Did you stumble upon God on accident? Or maybe were you really intentional about seeking that divine presence in simple moments or really big, important moments? Where did you sense God's love? If you want to spend a little bit more time in this consolation section, feel free to pause this video, write down, put on some peaceful, calming music. There's tons of Spotify playlists for this. But if you're ready to move forward, we're going to shift gears and talk about and reflect on the desolation we might have felt during the day. Ignatius calls this part of Examen the desolation section, or the shadow time. When today did you feel a sense of loss, lacking, a sense of failed expectations, or maybe disconnect? What were parts of today in which you fell short? Maybe you did not stay true to your values or your morals. Maybe something you did or said contradicted how you want to live your life. What were parts of the day where you could have done better? Spend some time in that discomfort. owning up to the fact that you missed the mark. Rather than staying in a place of judgment or shame, allow yourself to be forgiven. Rest in God's mercy. Once we name and claim those mistakes, those moments of desolation, hold it in your hand and let it go. Feel the comfort of God's forgiveness. Give yourself permission to forgive yourself as well. This is a time to receive God's mercy. If you want to spend a little bit more time in the desolation aspect of Examen prayer, pause this video. If not, we're going to move to the final part of Examen, which is looking towards the next day. We are looking toward the day to come. What are some actions that might need to take place to make tomorrow or the rest of this week align with your values, align with your life's work? Ask God for guidance. Check in with yourself. How do you need to prepare to make the future a little easier? Maybe that means putting tomorrow's clothes or outfit together, setting your cup of coffee or cup of tea, all the ingredients and everything you need out the night before. Maybe that's making a checklist or a to-do list so you feel prepared. Maybe that is asking God for the courage to have hard conversations. Maybe it is resting a little bit more in that forgiving yourself part of the Examen day. Spend some time in your journal and write these things down. If you have kept track on a piece of paper, made a list of Examen, a time of consolation, desolation, and looking towards the day to come, end your Examen time in a posture of thanksgiving. Close your eyes and meditate on everything that we have just gone through. For the ways in which we were grateful, the ways in which we fell short, and looking towards the future. God, for this day, in everything that it brought, in everything that it lacked, in every good thing, and in every teachable moment, we give thanks to you. As we look towards tomorrow, fill us with grace. Amen. All right. That's it. Examen is super easy. It doesn't have to be this long. Maybe you can try to make an Examen prayer a daily part of your life. It's really simple. Consolation, desolation, and always a moment of forgiveness, and looking towards the rest of the day. You probably unconsciously already have this type of pattern in your life. and that's great. But this is a way to be more intentional, to check in and rumble with that question, how is it with your soul? All right, join us next week, Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. We're gonna be doing a yoga practice next week. And don't forget to sign in. We have a connect form. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the caption section. If you're on Facebook, we have a link which is included in this post. And if you are watching at firstunited.org, there is a link as well. We want to connect with you, and this is a way to keep in touch and find out what other type of things are going on with the gathering place. All right, join us next week at 6.